Now I will start with a short introduction to the Urban Furrows program, which is one of the 4 programs of the European Capital of Culture. Our goal is to bring a new, radical, or at least alternative and autonomous practices in the city of Maribor. That's why we call ourselves militant researchers. The concept of militant research can be traced back to the Engels period, or to the operaismus in Italy, or maybe to in Argentina, developed by the Colectivo Situaciones after the crisis in 2001.
What we are developing here is this cooperative of farmers, small traditional farmers, which is already established, or better to say in the process to be established. And we are as well developing in this field the distribution center, which will be run by these same people. The people from the village will run it, and as well a center of preparation of food. And as well, if everything will be okay, like a public kitchen, a social kitchen, or a community kitchen. All this together then will be the sustainable local supply as we are thinking about it.
The Rosa garden is a community garden built up by people who live in the same neighborhood. So it's no formal association, but it's just an initiative, a group of people, of neighbors. In 2004 we started to empty a dirty lot and make out a community garden for the neighborhood out of it. And as the lot was squatted, we were evicted. There's a house now and we had to move twice. And by now we are in another place, a public park, and we have a contract with the local municipality for this community garden, Rosa Rose.
As some of you already know, our research group, which is made up of Roma and non-Roma representatives, has been active since the beginning of 2011. In the first half year of our group's research in the field, we determined that Roma and other ethnic groups living in Maribor have very different needs. Based on that research work in the field, we decided on 3 main directions for the program, all of which will be realized by the end of 2012. 3 main goals we have set for ourselves are the publishing of a Roma Slovenian dictionary, a novel by a Roma author, and active fieldwork in the context of the Ethno-Mobile project. On top of the already mentioned specific activities, Ethno-Mobile's priority tasks to be carried out in the apartment block of Poljane are to carry out an extensive educational program, social and creative workshops and music therapy, to introduce examples of good practice for the creation of communities, to employ anti-racist approaches for social work, to train and bring together Roma and non-Roma mentors, to offer additional support to school-aged children in order to solve problems they deal with in school, and to develop other informal forms of knowledge.
Edukativni centar Roma, misija organizacije Edukativni centar Roma je inkluzija Roma u lokalnu sredinu na teritoriji Zapadnog Balkana. Kad kažemo termin inkluzija, mi ga posmatramo kao niz, znači beskonačan niz kompleksnih aktivnosti, da jedna marginalizovana grupacija, kao što je romska zajednica, postane sastavni deo, integrativni deo društva. Znači, ja sam danas imao čast da budem pozvan na ovom skupu, da upoznam organizatore, da upoznam predstavnike romske zajednice iz Maribora. Sagledavajući njihove probleme u odnosu na ono što sam vam ja rekao, Ova zajednica u ovom momentu im najveći problem je samo to što žele da uče svoj jezik. Pozdravljam ideju Urbane brazde što su pokrenuli ideju da se izda rečnik, znači mi smo došli još, doneli smo im materijale, odakle oni mogu da počnu da rade taj rečnik. Verujem da ono što sam barem do sada vidio, da ovde postoje mladi ljudi, entuzijasti, koji i sama ideja postojanja urbanih brazda na kreativan način utiču na promenama u društvu, znači u više oblasti, a jedna od oblasti je romska zajednica i ta ideja mi se izuzetno dobro sviđa.
I'm the coordinator of the group that deals with politics of migration, but we don't do only this. We try to connect the question of migration with the question of the digital divide, meaning we are divided of being part of some marginalized group. On the other side is also meaning that you're divided from the resources of internet and technology.
So I work for Furtherfield, which is a media arts organization based in London, in the north of London. And it's an organization that has been working since 1994 now. It has so the focus is on arts, technology and social change. These are the total keywords of this organization. So we have different strands of work, but our presence online is one of the strongest strands of work. So what we have is a very strong media arts community that gathers around a mailing list where things are discussed. And then our website is a sort of meeting place for lots of people as well. There is this very important online community. And then there is an important aspect of arts, technology and social change is the outreach strand of work, which includes projects like the $0 laptop project, which is the one that we've come here to present, which is working with recycled technology and with open source software with disadvantaged groups. In this case, we work with homeless people in London, in the West. So we went through this series of 12 weeks, getting them to really understand open source culture, not necessarily only about learning how to use computers, but also how to understand open source culture and be part of it. And by the end of this 12-week process, they took their laptops.
Yeah, Access Space is the longest running open source media lab in the UK. It's been going for 11 years. It's a computer recycler. We ask for donations of redundant technology from the public and from businesses. They bring it to us and we recycle it. And we create all the desktop computers and whatever, all the technology for the public, which they can use for free, from all this stuff. We're an arts organisation. We have rolling exhibitions, installations, workshops. We have artists in residence. And we also do outreach work with deprived communities, particularly with technology and creative technology.
Thomas contacted us because they want to do this free PC project, which has lots in common with our project. So they wanted us to come here and share all our expertise, everything that happened, our experience, what went right, what went wrong, what failed, how we prepared for it. And so that's our objective here, to come and tell them as much as we can about how we went in London and how we can go here.
We've been invited over here and to talk about the project and to see if in the context of Maribor and Slovenia, perhaps it would work here as well. It's a very different country, it's different circumstances, a different client group. So it's very interesting for us talking to them about Slovenia and how different it is from the UK. Maybe we can help with new ideas and whatever, and that they can take our ideas and kind of mould them to use here.
Teleport is a project for lahko daš naprej. It's project of Maribor Cyclist Network, which is part of urban furrows inside the European Capital of Culture. You see this European capital of culture is galaxy, Urban Phoros is sun system, and teleport is a planet, and Maribor Cyclist Network is a group which occupied this planet. Our mission is system change. We want to make a system change basically for the conditions of cyclists and non-motorized and all people which dealing with mobility, and to turn the trends in motorization which emerged in the last 20 years and are very high percentage of people who are using cars in Maribor. According to the latest trends, we have almost 60% of people who are driving cars on the distance which are less than 15 minutes.
Zapravo ja ovdje ne predstavljam u tolikoj mjeri organizaciju iz koje dolazim i za koju radim, a to je inače zelena akcija Friends of the Earth Croatia, koja je jedna od najvećih, ja bih se usudio reći, najutjecajnijih organizacija za zaštitu okoliša u Hrvatskoj, nego znači jednu grupu, jedan projekt koji postoji unutar te organizacije, koji je u određenom smislu autonoman, a koji se zove biciklopopravljaona. To je znači projekt, takozvani komunalni biciklistički servis, projekt u kojem svako može sam, besplatno, uz pomoć naših volontera, popraviti svoj bicikl. Poanta tog projekta je znači ne samo da ljudima omogući besplatan popravak bicikla, nego da ljudima omogući da nešto i nauče.
My name is Matea, and in the Urban Phoros group, I'm the one who is responsible for the establishment of the plant seed library. For those who do not know what a seed library is, I will just say a few words about it, so you will know what we are trying to develop here in Slovenia. So a seed library is actually an alternative approach to preserve biotic diversity of cultural plants. It's a mechanism that collects, stores and catalogs seeds and planting materials of different varieties of cultural plants. But it is also a mechanism that encourages recultivation of those varieties among people. The main objective of the seed library is to preserve or conserve rare and threatened varieties of vegetable, grains, fruit plants and also wine that are no longer widely available.
I work for a charity in England called Garden Organic, and the purpose of this charity is to get as many people growing organically as possible. A lot of our work is to do with growing food at home, but it's also about flowers and trees and the whole landscape and looking after the landscape well. So we're an environmental educational charity. We work with schools, we work with people on their private home gardens, on plots, we work with commercial organic growers, and one of the things that we run, which is what has brought me here to Maribor, is something called the Heritage Seed Library, because Urban Phoros wants to set up a seed library for Slovenia. There's a fantastic group of young people who are running Urban Phoros. They're so passionate, they really have belief. The country should be proud of them. They are really great people. And if you could find the political will from government to support them, if you could find the financial skill and expertise from, say, the big corporates or industry to show them how to make it work financially, you could achieve miracles. You could be a real exemplar in this country of how to do this thing properly.